Sinatra recording, take 3.
If you are but a dream, I hope I never waken. It's more than I could bear to find that I'm forsaken. If you're a fantasy, then I'm content to be in love with lovely you, and pray my dream comes true. I long to kiss you, but I would not dare. I'm so afraid that you may vanish in the air. So darling, if our romance should break up, I hope I never wake up. If you are but a dream.
Frank was born December 12, 1915 in Hoboken, New Jersey. Facing New York City across the Hudson River, the city was home to large immigrant communities. Frank was an Italian-American, disdainfully referred to by some as a Dago. He was a kid with a frail physique, his face marked on the left-hand side by the souvenir of a difficult delivery, which earned him the nickname Scarface. An only child from a humble background, he was a shy, lonely kid. He would spend hours in front of his radio, listening to the songs of crooners. On occasion, he would even sing some of them for the customers of the bar his parents ran for a time during Prohibition. The year he turned 17, he was banished from the family home by his father, who thought it was time he stood on his own feet. In 1939, the young singer, in search of a contract, married Nancy Barbato, a neighbor with whom he had been going steady for almost 5 years. A page of history was turning, and the Skinny Guinea from Hoboken would soon become a musical phenomenon such as America had never seen. Back then, the New York jazz scene was buzzing. People flocked to the clubs to dance to big bands, and the all-powerful radio stations would relay the new sounds to the four corners of the land. Frank would take part in amateur contests, singing in social clubs and roadhouses, often for peanuts. Haunted by a fierce determination to succeed, he was convinced that music was the only thing that rang his bell and could enable him to one day become somebody. His first real professional experience came in 1935 as one of the Hoboken Four, an Italian-American quartet with whom he sang for a year. By 1939, he had moved up a league.
Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week.
Noticed by trumpeter Harry James, he joined his orchestra and set off on tour, also taking in his first experiences in the studio.
Till I hear you at the door, until you're in my arms once more. Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week.
Some months later, in early 1940, he joined the orchestra of trombonist Tommy Dorsey, one of the most popular of the period, and quickly became its star vocalist. In these months spent on the roads of North America alongside other musicians, Frank learned stagecraft, rhythm, and honed his singing voice. Observing Dorsey at great length, he drew inspiration from his technique to better control his own breathing and thus to modulate his vocal phrasing. In September 1942, aged 26, he finally felt ready. Triggering his mentor's wrath, he decided to leave him and strike out on his own.
You'll never know just how much I miss you.
It was on Broadway, in the Paramount Theater, that Frank Sinatra, alone on stage, hit the headlines. From his very first appearance in December, each of his concerts gave rise to collective hysteria. Thousands of teenagers jostled for a chance to applaud their new idol.
'Cause haven't I told you so 1,000,000 or more times? You went away and my
The mere sound of his voice could send schoolgirls into a trance, into a frenzy, into a dead faint. This was referred to as the Sinatra swoon.
I speak your name in my every prayer. If there is some other...
In just a few months, his life had changed dramatically. He had become the voice, the romantic star who spoke to the heartland of an America scarred by the years of the war. A first-rate crooner who could strike up an intimate relationship with his audience, something never seen before. Sinatra sings like Clark Gable makes love, went the refrain. He signed with the Columbia label, and his first singles were broadcast in constant rotation on the airwaves while he himself had his own radio show, the Frank Sinatra Program. This newfound fame naturally guided his steps to the studios of Hollywood, whose musicals were increasingly popular with the cinema-going public. Swapping the New York City skyline for the luxury hotels of LA, Frank made a handful of pictures for RKO before signing a 5-year contract with the prestigious MGM. There, his talent was often teamed with that of Gene Kelly, future star of Singing in the Rain, who became both his co-star and his dance teacher. The two men were complementary and made a tremendously popular team.
She begged me. True. She pleaded.
Not on a bended knee. Hey! Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
You can count on me. You can count on me.
As the adding machine once said, you can count on me.
New York, a wonderful town. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down. The people ride in a hole in the ground. New York, it's a wonderful town. East Side,
The final Sinatra and Kelly screen collaboration, On the Town, was also the first musical to be filmed on location.
that's the pity.
The filming drew thousands of onlookers. In the Italian Quarter, where Frank was an acknowledged star, the police were even forced to intervene to contain the eager crowd of his fans.
When